It's Subverted Tropes, a podcast about movies, featuring your hosts Daniel Spencer and Kate Harlow. Welcome to another episode of Subverted Tropes. I'm Dan.
I'm Kate.
How you doing, Kate?
I'm good, love. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm a little sad. This is going to be our last musicals episode.
Oh, no. And we'll never do another one again, ever.
Well,
Wait a minute.
we probably will.
Yeah, we will.
I do love me some musicals.
So do I.
I mostly love classic musicals, but
Sure. Yeah.
today we're going to be talking about one that I think is A, significantly more recent,
Yeah.
and B, responsible for like the kind of re-swelling of the movie musical.
Yeah.
It's Chicago from 2002.
It's one of my favorite cities. And a super fun musical.
I have never been.
I know you haven't. I
We
need to fix that.
All right, so you want to just jump right in?
Let's do it.
We're going to jump right into 1924.
Oh, boy. You're gonna quantum leap into 1924?
Yes. We're going to quantum leap into 1924.
Well, I mean, it's an easy way to time travel. I'm just saying.
It is.
It's not easy.
How about
It's
this?
very difficult.
You be Sam, and I will just tell you what's going on. So here we go. You ready?
Hit me with it.
Sam, it looks like you've jumped into Beulah May Annan. It says here that she was she murdered her lover, and that she was getting tried for it along with Belva Gaertner. Mm-hmm. It says here that it looks like you're going to get off.
Oh, good for me.
Oh boy! In 1924 in Chicago, Beulah May Annan and Belva Gaertner,
How's that spelled? Gaert?
Gaertner, Gaertner, were both tried for individually, but tried for
Murder most foul.
Murder most foul, and their trials were very public and became kind of sensationalized thing. They both kind of became celebrities. So the Chicago Tribune sent out one of their reporters, Maureen Dallas Watkins, to cover the trials.
Okay.
And she felt inspired. So she wrote the play Chicago.
Nice.
And it actually, like, this was her first foray into writing plays. And it was such a success on Broadway that she stopped reporting for the Chicago Tribune and became a playwright and screenwrite, actually. She wrote some stuff for movies as well.
Oh, one of those very privileged people that has like a very easy time with it.
Yeah. Ugh.
How I hate them.
This was a play. There was no music in it at this point, which is a little bit easier to then understand how the first movie of Chicago was made in 1926 and was a silent movie.
Yep. Okay.
Produced by Cecil B. DeMille, with Phyllis Haver as Roxy Hart, the character of Roxy Hart being based off of Beulah, and Julie Fay as Velma Kelly. Velma Kelly is based off of Gaertner.
Gaertner.
And then in 1942, they remade it as the movie Roxy Hart, with Ginger Rogers in the titular role.
Ooh.
But they very much changed the story. She didn't actually kill him.
Oh.
It was her husband, and he was putting the blame on her. It's more of a kind of screwball comedy.
See, now I want to see it.
I really want to see it. Velma Kelly's not even in the story at all.
What?
I know. It's disappointing.
Rip
but
off.
I really want to see that movie now.
Yeah, I wanna see it.
It sounds delightful.
Let's find it.
So then we'll flash forward, like we did from 26 to 42. It's now 1969.
We're roughly going about 20 to 30 years a jump.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're clipping along at a decent pace here.
Okay, I just like to have some sense of awareness.
Oh, yeah.
It's confusing quantum leaping like this.
I understand. So, Sam, it says here that you're Bob Fosse?
Oh, that's very exciting.
So Bob Fosse and his wife, Gwen Verdon, acquired the rights for Chicago from the estate of Maureen Watkins because they both wanted to turn it into a musical.
As you do.
So they worked with John Kander and Fred Ebb to construct the show more or less as it is now, with having like the vaudeville style numbers and just All That Jazz.
Get out.
That's a different movie. Both All That Jazz and Get Out. All That Jazz
I know.
is about the making of Chicago,
Yep.
which is fantastic. But Gwen Verdon took on the role of Roxy Hart in the show. And it opened in 1975 to just incredible success. Flash forward about a year.
It's not a big jump.
Sam, it says here that you're Liza Minnelli, and you've been understudying Gwen Verdon in this role.
Yes.
So I don't know what you got to do to jump, but it looks like maybe Liza's got to take over. So no, so Gwen Verdon got sick, and so for 6 weeks, Liza Minnelli took on the role, and that's when the buzz started about making a movie of the musical.
Sorry, Gwen.
It
Sucks
got
to be you.
right. It got so popular that Liza Minnelli in 1977 was saying, "My next movie is going to be Chicago."
Nice.
And a lot of buzz was generated out. It was rumored that Goldie Hawn was going to be playing Velma Kelly.
Oh, wow.
Frank Sinatra was going to be playing Billy Flynn.
Okay.
And there was a 1980s TV special. 1980s. No, it was just in 1980. There was a TV special of Goldie Hawn and Liza Minnelli together. And they closed it out performing All That Jazz. But nothing ever came of that movie.
Oh, no.
So then we'll flash forward to 2000, 2001-ish, when Miramax now has the rights. They've got the option. They couldn't find a script or an idea that they really liked to make it work in a movie format. So then stage director Rob Marshall came up to them and he's like, here's what you do. You basically put all the musical numbers in Roxy's mind. And that's how you can still have it be glitzy. You can have the dichotomy of the glitz with the songs in her mind and the grit with what's actually going on.
Yes.
And Miramax was like, hell yes, I love that. Brilliant. Perfect. Do it. You are a director of the stage. So we're actually going to hire Nicholas Heitner instead.
Thanks for getting our project off the ground. Okay, bye.
Pretty much. And then they hired Bill Condon to adapt the script.
Okay.
I do want to take this moment to discuss one of the producers of this movie. Garbage human being Harvey Weinstein.
So here's the thing. Fuck him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all.
Yep. I think that's fair.
Well, okay. Ugh. There are so many problematic things about the entirety of his illustrious career. But as far as the things that have been produced, and I will say, despite his involvement, broken clocks are right twice a day. You can be a shitty garbage human being and still be functionally capable of doing a good job at your paying day job that doesn't involve hotels.
Yes.
Other than that, though, fuck that guy.
Yeah, garbage human being.
Garbage human being.
And there's one point where all of the other producers basically shut him down on something that we'll get to in a minute.
Why didn't they do that more? I had
So,
a sippy cup of wine.
It's time to cast the movie. Heitner and the producers all really liked the idea of not using actors and actresses known for musicals.
That's fair.
So Heitner cast the lead role of Roxy Hart.
Which then got an angry letter writing campaign from Jane Krakowski. Sorry.
Pretty much. But no, so Heitner was like, I want a blonde with a background in dance. So he cast the lead role as Charlize Theron.
Okay.
Catherine Zeta-Jones was given the role of Velma Kelly after one of the producers, Martin Richards, was at a Christmas party in Bermuda with them.
Like you do.
With Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas. And Catherine Zeta-Jones was singing Christmas carols. And Richards was like, this is amazing. This is great. You are going to be in this movie. We're doing a movie of Chicago. And she was like, I don't know anything about that movie. Is that the one that All That Jazz is from? Would I get to sing that? Yes, you would. Okay, I'll do it. It was the only thing she knew about the show.
Beautiful.
And then the role of charming, quick-talking lawyer Billy Flynn. So many people
Yeah.
got offered this role.
No, no.
Hugh Jackman. He turned it down because he felt like he was too young. He didn't think it would
I believe that.
have seemed right for
Hugh Jackman today.
Hugh Jackman anytime.
I mean, Hugh Jackman anytime, but like if they want to reboot the franchise for no reason, they call him right
The
now.
Chicago franchise. That's right. We're doing another remake. Even
And
though
then
it
we're
hasn't
doing a
been 20, 30
spin-off
years.
that connects the universes of the Blues Brothers
That's right.
and Val McKelly.
Also, the sequel's going to be Detroit. And
The sequel's going to be Gary, Indiana.
that's it. And it is a modern, gritty retelling of The Music Man.
in the style of The Wire.
Perfect. So Hugh Jackman turned it down.
Sigh.
And then Weinstein offered the role to John Travolta 3 times.
Nope.
But
Just not a match. No.
Travolta never even met with Heitner because, and this is a quote here.
Beautiful.
I thought the play was about a bunch of women who hate men, and I like women who like men. So both Hugh Jackman and John Travolta have publicly said they regret turning down the role.
Good. Damn well they should.
There were a few others, but so Richard Gere wasn't jazzed, pun intended, about.
I'm just giving him a disapproving look, guys. I don't even have a response.
Yeah, it's great. But no, so he was not jazzed about the role. He was like, I don't really like that show, so I don't really
I
want
just
to
don't really
do
feel a
it.
Connection. So
His agent actually was the one who was like really pushing
he'll do it.
for.
Trust
he was
me.
like, no, we really need to get you to do this. This is going to be great. So eventually, Gere was like, well, I just got finished filming Unfaithful, and that movie is intense, and this will at least be fun. Mm-hmm. So he agreed to do it. This makes the 4th movie that Gere accepted a role that John Travolta had turned down.
Damn, Travolta, you're getting your sloppy seconds.
American Gigolo, Days of Heaven, and An Officer and a Gentleman
Oh my goodness.
were all roles that were offered to Travolta, and he turned them down. And I don't see him doing well in any of those.
No,
But
I don't see him doing well in Chicago. But I mean, but you got the idea of Hugh Jackman in my head, so now I'm like,
yeah.
pie in the sky.
Weinstein was very adamant that they give Britney Spears a role in this movie.
I can't imagine why he would be interested in a young, pretty woman like that. That doesn't sound like him at all.
I have in my notes here 3 guesses as to why. It's because he's a garbage human being.
Garbage human being predator asshole.
Yes. Basically, all the other producers were like, no, we're not going to get a pop star to be in this movie that's supposed to be like kind of gritty and edgy.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to do well. And he kept pushing and eventually relented when they were like
Somebody
we're
else set
not
up
going
a
to
meeting
do
for him.
this.
They distracted him with some other shiny object.
So then Heitner, I tried to find some notes. I don't know why he left, but he left the project. And so they were like, okay, fine. It was your idea. You're a director, even though you've never made an actual film before. Rob Marshall, come on down.
Hey, the thing we were trying to do to screw you over kind of fell through, so do you want to come over? Hey, thanks.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. It's like that time that you, like when you cancel plans last minute with a friend and then like run into them because you're like, I've got this thing I have to go to. And it's like, we're at the same bar. What happened? Shit.
Oh, toast
So
to
let's
friendship.
just hang out.
Let's totally do shots together. Yay.
So he was like, okay, everybody has to re-audition for this.
Nice.
Because new director, I need to make sure that I've got the feeling that I want.
I mean, that's not a bad power play.
It's not. Keeping everybody except the leading lady. Also pretty strong power play, but Charlize Theron got the boot.
I'm sorry that happened to her. Her audition must not have gone very well.
It apparently didn't, which is sad. She really loved like the work that she'd already been doing and like preparing for the movie and like getting back into dancing and like and she got booted.
And then she accepted a role in Monster.
So Renee Zellweger instead was brought on for the role of Roxy. Marshall approached Kathy Bates for the role of Matron Mama Morton.
That would have been so good.
Would have been great.
But see, like, I can't complain about that because Queen Latifah was fucking amazing.
Just incredible.
She's a fucking powerhouse.
So Kathy Bates was tied up with About Schmidt. So despite the negative press coverage, oh Lord, despite the campaigning that was being done by another pop star to have the role of Matron Mama Morton, Beyonce did not get the role. It went to Queen Latifah.
Bae, why? No, that doesn't. She has in subsequent years established herself as a boss bitch, but like 2002 Beyonce, no, you are not. No.
She was still, I think, still part of Destiny's Child at that point.
Yeah, she was still technically Destiny's Child then. She
Nice.
didn't really go solo to 2005.
Oh. So yeah, Beyonce didn't get the role. It went to Queen Latifah, who knocks it out of the fucking park.
She fucking kills it. She's amazing.
So then it came time to cast Amos Hart.
John C. Reilly. This is like the first time in my conscious memory that I remember John C. Reilly, and he's just so fucking fabulous.
So fucking fabulous.
He's
He got
amazing.
nominated for two different. I don't think it was this. It might have been this year. It might have been the year after. But like nominated for two different roles for Best Supporting Actor. One year at the Oscars.
Amazing.
Like he was doing he had such a great run of movies, and then he started making movies with Will Ferrell, and
Yep.
I haven't been able to take him seriously since. It's so disappointing.
It depends on the role. I mean, Talladega Nights was fun.
I've not seen it.
He's an amusing character, but like I think like there's a difference between doing like one and being like, this is my career path now.
Yeah. For the role of Amos, Marshall wanted Keanu Reeves,
Boo.
and he turned down the audition from Charlie Sheen.
Good. Okay. Good. We're on the right path again.
And John C. Reilly went into the audition and talked about how much of a fan he was of clowns. He did his own clown makeup in the Mr. Cellophane number.
I'm not
And it was
surprised by
his
that.
idea to be applying it during the song and everything.
Oh, just so beautiful.
Catherine Zeta-Jones was wearing the bob throughout the movie.
Yes.
The producers wanted her to have her natural, long, flowy hair.
I mean, I guess I could see that working, but the bob is so iconic.
It is. But that wasn't the reason that she told them no. She worked her ass off to do all the dancing and like get where she needed to get for the dancing. She's like, there's no way that I'm going to have long hair that could flip in my face and let people say, oh, that's not her. That's a dance double. She's like, I want people to know that's me.
Good job. Good on her.
I love it. So I think that's all that I've got for the first part. Let's go watch this movie.
Let's go watch it.
And then talk about it when we get back.
You.
Yeah. And we're back.
We're back.
It's a fun movie.
It is. It's been a really long time since I've seen that all the way through, and I forget how much I love it.
Yeah, it's my only thing is that it feels long. It's 2 hours.
I mean, I did not feel that way, but
I think I don't know what it is, but like it's not a complaint. It's not like it's like, oh my God, this feels so long. It's just like, oh, okay. It felt like,
it feels like maybe there should be an intermission in there somewhere.
yes. Oh, fancy that. It was really funny when I was when I was doing my research, I came across like a bunch of questions that people asked about this movie, including, was Roxy actually pregnant? Did you watch the whole movie? Where at the end she said that she wasn't?
There ain't no baby. or the part where Billy asked the doctor who clearly just slept with Roxy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was very funny.
I guess like it kind of comes back to like the thing about that exposition at the beginning of Singing in the Rain where they're like beating the audience over the head versus like, I don't know, like a line directly addressing it but not beating people over the head with it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like there's a song of, I'm not actually pregnant.
I mean, there was supposed to be, but they took it out.
Well, that was...
that was Me and My Baby.
Yeah, Me and My Baby.
If anybody's actually seen the stage show.
Right. So yeah, Roxy was not pregnant. Catherine Zeta-Jones, though, was 2 months pregnant
Jesus.
during the filming of this. The whole thing. All those.
And she looks fucking fabulous.
She looks fucking fabulous. And the impressive dancing and tumbling that she did while 2 months pregnant.
Well, I mean, like, there's a certain amount that you can do and safely do as long as, you have, consulted with your doctor and any, like, trainers or choreographers or anything.
Yeah. But no, it's very,
there are
very
some
impressive.
people who, like, work out until the day they give birth. Yeah. God help them.
But yeah, it's just, I think, very impressive. They did use body doubles for some shots, not during dancing, but just some shots, like, they were shooting from behind where she was, like where they just couldn't find an angle where there wasn't a slight bump visible.
Oh, it's just it drives me crazy, and it's a topic that I don't normally like to discuss because it feels very judgmental. But Renee Zellweger is very, very skinny, and the fashion of that era, in some cases, works very, very well for a very tiny body like hers. But in some cases, it works much better for a more voluptuous figure. And it seems extraordinarily unfair, particularly that final number, having the two of them standing together in the same dress. It's just like, okay. I feel like that's the least I can say without sounding into like a judgmental kind of human. There are some outfits that look amazing on the very, very waifish Zellweger.
Yes.
And then others where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know what there's a lot of in this movie? Smoking.
There is.
There's a lot of smoking.
There is.
In 2007, the MPAA added smoking as one of their criteria for rating movies. And they cited this movie as one of the reasons for it.
Oh, no.
Because of how much fucking smoking there was.
I mean, I guess that's fair. It's their prerogative. That's
right?
Fine. But, I mean, I guess what gets me about that is that it's one of those, like, it's supposed to be true to the era.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, back in 1920s, everybody smoked. So the poster for this movie.
Yes.
The agents for Zellweger and Zeta-Jones went back and forth, fought a lot over who would have top billing, and eventually settled on both. But how do you do that in a movie poster? How do you give both people top billing? You do diagonal listing.
Oh, goodness.
So on the top right is Renee Zellweger, and kind of a little bit below that, but over on the far left is Catherine Zeta-Jones. So if you're reading the poster left to right, Zeta-Jones gets top billing.
But if you're looking at it top to
bottom,
okay.
Renee Zellweger. I'll put a picture of the poster on the blog.
That's right.
But it's a very interesting approach.
Visual trickery.
Yes. So the Cell Block Tango.
Yes.
One of my favorites.
So good.
So it's a phenomenal song, and the way they staged it in this movie.
I guess I never, like, when I first saw it, like, back when it came out, back in theaters, like, consciously I was like, oh yeah, the music numbers are in our head, okay. But, like, I never really looked at it, like, as clearly through that lens. And I think that's especially a good one that really shows the back and forth overlap of it, I guess, as early in as it is. But, like, the way it's intercut with the shots of just her talking to those cellmates in the context of the jail versus her watching the number, like, it's exquisitely well done.
Agreed.
It's continue.
It's just a really great number. There's that Hungarian bit. I found a translation.
Beautiful.
How did I find myself here? They say my famous lover held down my husband and I cut off his head. But it's not true. I am innocent. I don't know why Uncle Sam says I did it. I tried to explain at the police station.
No. That's so sad.
It's very sad.
That's very sad.
It's a very sad story. Because spoilers, she done gets dead.
Maybe not the most tactful way of saying it.
Of saying a character in a movie
dies. Yeah.
Dies. I mean, I guess that's fair. That's all the notes that I have. Let's talk about the tropes. The person you're cheating on your spouse with is lying to you as well.
Everybody's corrupt.
Everybody's corrupt. There's the whole, when you're in jail, you can get whatever you want.
As long as you got a buck.
As long as you've got a buck. Also, like, this jail is not bad.
Could be worse.
It could be worse.
Everybody else was famous for a minute, but I'm going to be famous forever.
Yeah. I'm not going to learn from what's happening to everyone else in my situation. There's the trope of Richard Gere sings like a rabbit. I don't know. I don't like his voice at all.
I guess I did.
Give him the old razzle dazzle.
Okay.
Razzle dazzle. It's just a weird. I don't know. It's just weird. It doesn't go along with the speaking voice enough. Like they don't.
I guess
match up.
I guess
That's weird.
I don't know. My brain is blanking on tropes.
Lawyers in cahoots with the press.
Oh yeah, I might be misremembering it, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not. My lawyer brother hates Chicago.
Oh yeah,
I could be very wrong, but if nothing else, I think he just really, really hates Billy Flynn.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't necessarily remember if that's correct, but like I think just rewatching it and thinking, like, does Dennis hate this? I think Dennis hates this. I'm pretty sure Dennis hates this.
I like him.
He's more of a Sweeney Todd guy.
I have some feelings about Sweeney Todd that aren't super positive, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point. Dumb husband trope.
Oh, poor dumb husband.
I feel real bad for him because he could do so much better.
He can.
Like,
but cares so
she's
much.
kind of an awful
She's
human.
kind of awful. Kind of definitely awful.
And he loves her so much and would do anything for her, and she doesn't care about that at all.
No.
And it's a shame.
Yeah, she should be so lucky.
Right? Mm-hmm. Love you.
I love you. I know, I'm just blanking on tropes. I will say the representation of people of color is much better.
Yes,
So
definitely.
much better.
Taye Diggs was the perfect choice for the band leader.
Yes, he's so wonderful.
I mean, I wish he was in it more.
Yeah.
Like, he's just the person who just introduces most of the musical numbers, but he's just so glorious.
Yeah, he's just beautiful. Though, I mean, I would really hate to see, and I feel like maybe it might be an issue if we go back and watch Roxy Hart, anybody who tries to represent Chicago jazz without a significant number of people of color are just doing it wrong.
Yeah. And I
It's
don't
just-
know if
it's
they do that
not
in
a
Roxy
thing.
Hart or
I
not.
would-
But
I'd be very curious
I mean, it
to
was
see.
42, so
Yeah, I don't have good feelings about it.
yeah, me neither.
But yeah, it's just not a lot in terms of like trope. I will say the actor who played the assistant DA is one of those actors that just like belongs in period pieces.
Yeah.
Like just
He's got that 1920s face.
yes.
And he can wear a three-piece suit with a,
Yep.
big duster real well.
Yeah. And like he's also a very talented actor.
Oh, yeah.
But
But yeah,
that's
definitely.
just one of those like put him in that movie. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode. It's a little bit of a shorter one.
A little bit. That wraps up musical month.
Wraps up musical month.
We'll have to do another one and
Definitely.
talk about your feelings about Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, we could. They're very, very similar to my feelings about Donnie Darko.
Okay.
It was just overhyped. I was told, like, I knew the music for a long time. And then everyone made such a big deal about, they're making a movie of it. And the casting of the movie was like...
A Hot Topic wet dream.
Exactly. And so I was pretty over it pretty quick.
I would tend to agree, but Sacha Baron Cohen in it is really on point.
Yeah, but I also have a lot of issues with him.
I have a lot of issues with him as well, which is why I was so surprised that he was so on point in Sweeney Todd. So we should cover that.
Yeah, we should. Next month, we're going to be...
Paying back all of those movies that have no representation
this
at
one was
all.
super white. This month was a very, very white movie.
Yeah, but
month.
also so was December.
Also very true.
Because we've been doing a lot of very, very old classic movies.
Yes.
And
Old Hollywood was racist, guys.
super racist.
But we're going to be Honor and Black History Month with important pieces of film.
As best two white people can do.
Yes.
We're trying, guys.
We're trying.
Which includes, but is not limited to, getting people who actually have history and people who are actually people of color. Because, we're white people and we can talk about having respect for Black culture as much as we want until the day ends, but it's not our experience.
Right.
So
that's what you can look forward to in February, except for one week in February where
we're going to do a super white movie, Titanic,
because we will be away on a cruise.
So I couldn't resist. Sorry.
Yeah. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube.
Hit us up on Twitter at Subverted Tropes, or if you'd like to send us a private message, if you have any suggestions or requests, or you just want to tell us how we're doing, you can get us at subvertedtropecast@gmail.com. Also, check out our blog. We try to put up a post to go with every episode to cite our sources and then just talk about whatever other fun stuff didn't make it into the podcast itself. So you can find that at subvertedtropecast.wordpress.com.
And as always, we would love to thank our logo designer, Gracie Boland. She is on Instagram at a Fandom Doodler and on Etsy as That Crazy Princess. She put together our phenomenal logo. She does bookmarks.
She does commissions. She just does a lot of fun stuff.
She's extremely talented. So take a look at her stuff and, get some of it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next Monday.
Bye.